With its sleek design, quality build, a device that is reminiscent of one of my favorite handhelds ever made, the PS Vita, there's a system that has quietly dropped into an oversaturated retro handheld scene that not only feels premium in hand, but is equally as beautiful as some of the more expensive retro consoles to date. Meet the Trimui Smart Pro. Today, we're going to be taking a deeper look into the device, and rather than spitting out specs and data points, I want this video to be for those who are looking for an honest opinion and how this device performs in the real world. First and foremost, let's talk about where I got this device. There's a website called Mech DIY, which had fantastic support as I was kept up to date with the shipping process. The Trimui Smart Pro came safely packaged and in a standard box along with a sleek carrying case. Upon opening the box, I found an actual brand name 256GB SanDisk SD card, which is something I wish other companies could take note. This was a breath of fresh air as I had become accustomed to taking even more time in making a duplicate image of those unbranded SD cards that usually ships with the Miyoo Mini and Anbernic devices, and rather with this SD card, the system was pretty much ready to go after its first charge. At first glance, the Trimui Smart Pro makes a solid impression. Compact yet sturdy, it's clearly designed with portability in mind, and unlike most of the other emulators I've reviewed, the Trimui Smart Pro feels extremely durable and well made, with a matte plastic finish that aren't fingerprint magnets. Its D-pad and buttons feel responsive, ideal for extended gaming sessions. The LEDs on the joysticks are absolutely beautiful, and they even change colors depending on the game you're playing, which I found to be a very nice touch. But aside from aesthetics, how does this stack up against bigger players like the Steam Deck or Anbernic devices, and what games can I actually enjoy in terms of performance? And this here is going to be the biggest selling point for those who aren't super tech savvy, or those who do not want to tinker with a device to get it up and running and rather just plug in and play. This device might just be the best one out there. After charging up the device, I sat back on my couch and found the startup process to be extremely easy. As the Trimui Smart Pro now ships with the latest version of CrossMix OS, this makes it the perfect device for those who just want something that works right out of the box. And work well it did, as I found the CrossMix OS menu to be extremely intuitive and easy to navigate and understand. For instance, unlike Anbernic's OS that can be a little convoluted and confusing, every single setting on this device is labeled properly and does what you expect. On the top is the menu titles that you can shuffle through using the L and R buttons. The settings are clearly labeled. The custom function button is easy to use, which I currently have on the performance boost setting. There are a ton of great games that are ready to be played right out of the box, which eliminates having to hunt down for ROMs, learning how to install them, how to tweak RetroArch, etc. This here is the closest system I've come across that makes it perfect for beginners who want to dip their feet into emulation. One thing that surprised me is how great retro games looked on this bigger screen. Usually I opt for vertical handhelds to relive all the classic games, but with this device, I am now torn between my other devices when it comes time to kick back and play titles like Pokemon or Sonic and the like. The screen is clear, bright, crisp, and it kind of makes it hard to go back to say my Miyoo Mini Plus, believe it or not. And with this slim form factor, this device is actually perfect in terms of portability. I was even shocked by how they made it so easy to manage your saves in game, as the only thing you need to do is press the menu button, which will open the CrossMix in-game options, and I can just tap on this quick save button to manage the quick saves. This is leaps and bounds easier for beginners, as you no longer need to interface with RetroArch nor learn all the combo keys for that perfect emulation experience. So let's go ahead and talk about my impressions after using the device for a couple days. For retro gaming, this device plays flawlessly. It's not until you get into some of the emulators like PSP and Dreamcast, for instance, where you start to notice some glitches. For instance, God of War on the PSP did not really play at 2x well. I needed to bump that down to 1x, and at 1x it played fantastically. There wasn't any issues there. However, with GTA Chinatown Wars on the PSP, I was able to play at 2x resolution, no problem. So you're going to be looking at performance as a case-by-case basis on those higher end systems. Some games will play well, others might not. The key is to keep your expectations tempered because you are playing on a budget device. N64 games are a little bit easier to run, however, there are some graphical glitches that I ran into. Like in Legend of Zelda, I've noticed that there were some weird graphical pop-ins, but apart from that, it ran pretty smooth. From my personal perspective, I find this device to be absolutely perfect for GBA games. It not only feels right in the hand, but the bigger screen is something that I didn't think I would like, but now it's hard for me to even go back to the Mii U Mini. Additionally, the ports I love, but you're gonna be running into some issues, like for instance, these weird long boot times. Here's an example. I'm trying to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it took about a minute and a half just to load. I thought the thing was frozen, but once it gets into the game after that long wait time, it plays perfectly. So as long as you're patient, you're probably not gonna have an issue with these things. However, if you're somebody that needs your device to be in perfect tip-top shape, then maybe a budget handheld isn't for you. You'd be better off saving some money and buying a Razer Edge, for instance. But for a device at this price point, these are compromises I'm totally willing to make, and overall, the gaming experience has been amazing. So if you're looking to play all of these retro games at perfect performance and you want a big screen, I mean, this is a really great device. In terms of pricing, this thing jumps around a bit. At the time of viewing on the Mech DIY website, they had a sale going on that brought this device down to $69, which is absolutely ridiculous. You are getting an insane amount of value in this device at that price, which makes it the perfect device when it comes to, say, Christmas gifts. I mean, I would be ecstatic to receive this as a present. Do keep note, if you want the brand name SD card with everything ready to go, that will bring the price up to about $99, but as I said, they're constantly running sales. I've heard people getting these devices with the memory cards for as low as $80. So if you're new to emulation and you want to get your feet wet, or if you're just looking for a great value budget device that you can throw in your pack wherever you go, the Trimui Smart Pro is a strong contender. With the combination of its sleek design and user-friendly cross-mix OS, which makes it a joy to use, this device is an absolute easy recommendation. In closing, I think the Trimui Smart Pro is an amazing budget device, if not the best one on the market right now. Especially if you're a beginner who doesn't want to have to tinker with the thing just to get it working. This thing is just plug and play. It's that amazing. So what do you guys think? Is the Trimui Smart Pro something you would buy? Let me know in the comments. And like always, thank you for watching.